Hello, how you doing? Long time no see. Right, so couple of months without videos. Sorry about that. Hopefully, it won't happen again. Sometimes priorities change and you have to get other things done, which is basically what happened to me. But I don't want anybody to think I'm going to give up on this MGB build. Not going to happen. Put far too much time, and as you have watching these videos as well, so I wouldn't let you down. So it is going to get done. I'm back in the garage now, and hopefully no more big breaks like that, fingers crossed. I haven't been completely idle though. You'll remember a few videos back I showed you the pickup of a Jag XK8, and I've actually that's on the road now. That's running absolutely fine. My wife and I took it up to the Lake District into Wales. It's a really nice car. I've done a lot of bits and pieces to that because basically the work I needed to do to that was fairly lightweight, so I could do that. Lots of things like trimming and things. Now, I didn't video it because it needed to be done quickly, and the videos take a while to do. Now also as well, because the XK8 is pretty much done effectively, there's a bit of welding to do, but it's completed now really. And I didn't really film it too much. I've got another car for the channel and for myself, another project car. It's another Jaguar. It's somewhat older, this one. And what I'll probably do is, because of the nature of the work that it needs doing, I can actually do it alongside working on this MG. So I'm not going to leave one to do the other. You know, probably as something's drying on one, I'll do a bit of spandering on the other one. And we'll do a reveal video on that. I think you'll find it quite interesting. It's a bit of a find, really. And like a lot of these finds, it was only a few miles from my house anyway. So I couldn't really turn it down. But you'll see that in due course. Anyway, for today, I'm going to be... I'm about to work on these lever arm shock absorbers, and we'll find out if they're any good. I've actually had a quick look, and no surprise, there's a surprise. But the first part of this video you're about to see was actually filmed before Christmas, and it is now I think it's the 16th, 17th of March. So when we get to the bit about the lever arm shock absorbers, that's bang up to date. That's what I'm doing now. I just wanted to get something online for you to see that the channel's not dead. If you've been watching these videos or been watching, binge watching the 17, 18 videos, you haven't wasted your time. I'm back, and that we are going to get this thing done, as you'll see when you see some of the bits and pieces I've bought for it. But that's it for me now. I've finished rabbiting. Let's get on with the video, and yeah, hopefully no more surprises. Okay, so as you can plainly see, we are at the bottom of the grand staircase once more. Jesus. Right, underneath the rustiest MG in the world. So, we have three more things to take off. We have a Armstrong lever arm shock absorber on that side, an Armstrong lever arm shock absorber this side, and the anti-roll bar. Now, in theory, that should mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts, but it probably represents, but it's going to be an hour, isn't it? Oh. Alright, I'll just give you a closer look at what we need to do and then we'll get on with it. This is the lever arm shock absorber. Remember, I had to cut off the... It's nice and stiff actually, so, well, relatively. I don't know how stiff that's meant to be. I will research it. I've actually got a spare pair as well, so I'm not too worried. You see, I had to cut off the downlink here rather than trying to unscrew it because, well, it wouldn't. Yes. So yeah, I think there's a couple of bolts holding this thing in, and we got one bolt on either side of this anti-roll bar. And it looks like it's got new bushes in already, actually. And if they're okay, I'm just going to leave them in. I'm not going to look for things to do if they don't need doing, really. Right. So yeah, and there's one of these on the other side as well. Let's hope they come off easily. We'll see. Now, this is a bit precarious to film, as I'm sure you will agree. But let's see if we can't get this thing off. Right, so I've got 5/8 spanner on the other side of this here, nut or bolt or bloody, you know, or indeed on the floor. Okay, let's have that on there first. Ooh, oh yes, there's some aerated goodness coming in this bloody nuts, right, okay, so let's see how we go. Bugger and hell, that's tight. Maybe I'll be better off with a grenade. Yeah, yes, it's seen the light, I think. Oh, snapped. Hello. That's it, we're through. Well, I mean, you know, relatively. Ow, bloody hell, that's hot there. Who'd have thunk it, eh? Sorry if I keep banging my head against the camera. It's only my head. Alright, try that again. Get that last little bit off. Oh, you... Jesus. There we go. I'll beep that out. I hope I've managed to beep it out. Because the nut actually hit me on the head. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do... I can see the nut here. Sorry if I'm banging the camera, but... Yeah. So, it is. Where did the nut go? After it bounced off my eye. No idea. Okay, well I've got the bolt, so I know how big it is. Right, so let's see if the other side is somewhat. Shit! Oh my god! Oh. Some Titanic-sized rusticles have just hit me in the same spot as the bloody nut. Right, so I think what we'll do. Get this on there first. Spin it on. Stand by. It's got a different size nut on. No, it hasn't got a different size nut on. It must have been the washer that hit me on the head. Because... oh yes, do that. Yeah, here's the nut. Wee-hee! It must have been the washer that hit me in the eye. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Why don't we put that on there first? I'll tell you why. Because it's a different size nut. Of course it is. Why would you possibly use the same size nut on two identical fastenings? Hang on, might not be actually. Is it? No. The actual bolt thing on the other side of it's the same. No, you know, this part on the other side's exactly the same. See? But this side's got a big nut. Right, well, I'm sure every MG specialist was waiting for me to do that then. Right, let's get the next size up, which I think it is. We want a half-inch drive. Yeah, 11/16, so that we can inflict as much air-driven misery on that nut. Oh, God. I have returned. I am behind you. He's behind you. Yeah. Boo. Right, let's have a look. Oh, that's gone on. Well, hang on a minute then. Bloody sure that went on there before. Yeah, it did. So the nut's different, but the bolting isn't. So, we'll plug all the awesome air-driven destructor. Does it ever get easy? Get in. Just plug in. What do you want? Right, let's try that. No, it's going to be shit and all sorts going in my face here, so it's not going to be a good time. Ah, no! It's just covered in shit, the bottom of this car. They must have gone rallying with it before they put it away. No wonder it rusted. Right, onwards! Oh, God, Jesus, that one didn't want to mess, did it? Didn't want to play. Right, hang on. That is now think. Hold on. Yeah, it's undone. Let's have the nut out of the back. Well, the way we do it. This is coming off. And it's probably kettled, but we'll see. Come on, will you? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, it's all very nice at the back. Right, I'll try and show you. What colour they really were? I always thought they were black. Right, onwards. Right, while we're on this side, I think we'll send some ratchet varnish towards the end of this anti-roll bar nut. So, you go on there. Oh, that went well. Is it actually undoing or what? Or is it just making noise? Have it? Get off, you. Right, that is indeed as good as this one's going to get now. So, that will eventually, when I've got rid of all the shitting underseal that someone's lavished on it. You're up. Really? So what's that there? What are we looking at here? Let's get all the shit off this. I don't know if you can see the muck that's on there. I can't. What? What's this? No. You heads. You know, before I make a comment, I'm just going to make absolutely sure about what I'm looking at here. Yeah, obviously that's rusty in it. Obviously, no big deal. Oh, you plant pots. Someone. Yeah, they have. Someone has actually welded that. I'll give you a closer look. I'm sure I can see blobs of weld. Yeah, welded that somehow with that bolt because they've got too bone-ass, idle, bloody lazy to do it properly with a bolt. And in doing so, it looks to me, at the time of said welding and botchery, they boiled the rubber out of the out of this mount. I'm going to give you a closer look at this. This is really dumb dickheadery, this really bloody is. Right, stand by. Yeah, look at that. Someone has actually welded that bolt. I mean, I'll just cut it off, it's no biggie, but, you know, morons. Back in a minute when it's off. I can't film this as well, because I'll end up... I think our first victim, our first victim of the airgun badness is going to be the lever arm shock absorber, and then we'll cut this bloody thing off. There we go. Coming off. That is a... oh shit. That is a stiff old bolt, isn't it? Bloody hell. Let's see how this goes on. Oh, going nowhere there. My compressor's going to kick in a minute. Oh shit, that is. I must have had the button all the way pressed in. That genuinely hurt. I don't know if you noticed. That really hurt then, you... Yes. Victory. Onwards. Okay, so it's time to deal with this bloody chamber of horrors. I cannot believe someone's done that. Seriously. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send it some love with some electrically generated pleasure this time. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm presuming it fits, I don't know. If not that, then we'll find some other way of inflicting some pain on it. I'm going to use my new face guard. I'll show you this actually. 10 quid. 10 That's not bad. You couldn't even get that 10 quid on eBay. It was on one of those stalls at the Newark Auto Jumble thingy, and it was the last one. And I shouldn't say this, but isn't it always satisfying? You know when you pick something off the stall and it's the last one, you go, yep, I'll have that. And there's someone behind you goes, oh, I was just going to get that. And you feel sorry for them, don't you? No. Right. Where are we up to? Yeah, so some electrically generated sparks for this young chappy here. I don't even know if that's actually going to fit in there. Might do. We have emerged victorious. Here we go. The lever struts are off. Lever arm, shock absorber, Armstrong thingies, they're off. You can smell them from here, they're definitely off. I don't know if there's a label in there that says they've been remanufactured. Let's have a look. Oh we are, it says, guaranteed rebuilt unit. That's good, isn't it? They must have seen some love in the past, this car. It's knackered, obviously. Well, one of them's knackered and one of them, the arm will move a bit. So I don't know if all the oil's leaked out or what. Our anti-roll bar has no bends or anything too nasty on it. I didn't destroy the end of it when I did the sawing and hammering and bashing and stuff to get it off. The weldy bit nut, which I was going to show you earlier on, where someone had welded the thing to the car, basically shot off and is under the cabinet or something, so I can't really show you. Good thing, again, yeah, it's had some love on it. Look, the tiny bushes, well, 15 years ago, but they're perfect. Look, nothing wrong with them. Same on the other side, look. Okay, so all that's rebuildable, yet not right now. So in this video, I'll probably do a crossfade, and then you can see me rebuilding them or testing them or something. But in the real world, I'm going in. I've had enough because I'm covered in crap, and I hate my hand. Onwards. Okay, so what we're looking to do is basically separate this downlink from the actuator arm on the shock absorber. And it's fitted in. This is the one I've just done. Fitted in with a taper. You can see. Hopefully this is focused. Yeah. There's a taper there, and there's a corresponding socket there. So that would normally be in, and you tighten up a nut or washer, whatever on there. Draw that into there. And that's it solid. And after a number of years being in place, you're going to get stiction on it. The one metal may expand, or the one may contract, whatever. But normally they're stuck as hell, and they're not going to come off like that. Obviously, this one didn't. So you got a few options of how to get it off. Now, one option is a separator like this, big old fork, and you basically plonk it in between the gap between the arm and the taper and the whatever it is you're looking to separate, be it I think a track rod end or a steering end, whatever, you know, there. Okay, bang it. Obviously the act of pushing that through the gap is going to spread the gap, and eventually that will pop off. Something slightly less violent, but actually with a bit more force, if I'm honest with you, is you don't want to start hammering at things. You know, this thing might actually be on a car with headlamps, bulbs, you know. You don't want to be bashing the crap out of it. This actually isn't, but it's not the end of the world. I use something like this, which is a little bit more appliance of science kind of a thing. And I'll just put you to a slightly better angle so you can see what this does. You know, sometimes filming this stuff takes longer than actually doing it. So, what this actually does, rather than just bashing it into the gap between these two and then pushing one off just by the act of driving a wedge in, okay, is slightly different. You basically put this end into the gap. Normally it just fits in, and it normally cups against whatever's here. This end is going to press against this screw thread, and if I tighten up this against that top arm, there we go. You can see that as that tightens, this is going to stay where it is. This is going to start pushing in on that screw. Now this is much better. I've seen people separating these by hammering the crap out of that screw there, hitting it this way, and then try and reuse the thing that they've just taken out, like a tracker then there with, when they just knackered the thread. Again, we said there's this option, you know, which I don't really use that much, and there's this one, and all this does, that thread's pretty well protected there. If you want to doubly protect it, I suppose you could put a piece of sacrificial aluminium or something in there, but it's absolutely not necessary. Anyway, what I've got now is a ratchet spanner. Pop this on here. Now, what does tend to happen is when this does, it builds up a lot of force basically, and it does it by slightly stretching the bolt as that pushes in, or yeah, it does actually. I suppose it's compressing this bolt, and when enough force builds up, that will shoot off, and probably the whole lot of it will end up on the floor because it breaks all of a sudden and it releases the force. So let's have a look, see how many turns it takes. The other one took about 4 or 5 turns to get it off. You just never know. But obviously stay out of the way of it, because when it does release, see, that's obviously building up force now. So that's pushing on it now, and the stiction's stopping this from coming off. So when it does actually release that force, that's going that way at a rate of knots, and this is probably going to fall off, as I say. Let's see how we do. Right. Getting quite hard. Now the harder you have to spanner this, the more force is going to be released. It will go, and it definitely will go. Now, if it gets to be so much force that you're worried about tightening it, quite often a little tap on this will just send it the rest of the way. But I'm not going to do that. Let's just do it the proper way. There you go. And it's shot off, and just by luck, the spanner is there. So you can see when it does go, it goes. Let me see where that landed. Hang on. Where did it go? No, oh yeah. So that landed 5 feet away. And there it is. So no damage to the end of this at all. I'm not going to use this again, obviously, because I've cut it off. But yeah, there's been no damage to that. Looks like it actually may have had a little bit of copper slip in there as well. Though. That's actually copper slip. That worked well, didn't it? Anyway, yeah. So that's the options. So you got rather nice bearing splitter, you know, or. It's still effective, it still works, you know what I mean? You know, it just is what it is. It's horses for courses. I think this was about £6, and for what it costs, I think it's just a little bit more elegant solution for taking tapers out of these sockets. Right, you know what I'm going to say next, don't you? Onwards! Okay, let's have a look at these then. Obviously, Armstrong lever arm shock absorbers from the back of the MG. These look to be reconditioned units. You can just see here. You can't see. Oh yeah, hang on. P and R maybe hydraulics, and these have been obviously rebuilt by them. Can't see where that is. I'll try and clean this sticker up for you later. But it says guaranteed. One rebuilt arm, and well, if you look at this rebuilt arm has let me see to clean this off. I can see, you can't see this to clean it on the film, but I'll bring you in a little bit closer and show you that our rebuilt arm has actually been, if you can see that, where are we? There you go. That's all been welded there, you know, to keep this actuator arm onto the shaft. I don't know if that's a normal way of reconditioning these or what, but it's obviously been painted over. Bit of Charlie Chan detective work here. So you've got, this has been rebuilt because it's got the sticker on it. The sticker is on top of the paint, so it must have been painted before they put the sticker on, and that weld has been painted, so they must have welded it, painted it, then put the sticker on. So that must be part of the reconditioning that they go through. I don't know if it is or not. I guess the test with these really is to see how stiff they are, whether there's any resistance. So let's have a look at this. There's a fair bit. So look, and there's slightly more one way than the other. It's just about movable. This one is again. Do you know what? I'm not sure that's really that bad. So look, a lot more resistance that way than the other way. So that's down. Let's see. Let's get him in the same orientation to see if that makes sense. So they're definitely easier to lift. Bloody hell, stiff them. that way, and that way is harder. See, it's the same with this one. They're not easy to move by any stretch of the imagination. If anyone could stick a comment in this for me and tell me if that's normal, that I should be able to do that. There's obviously a huge amount of resistance there. What we'll do is we'll go with the original ones off the car, because at some stage in the relatively recent past these have been refurbed, so they're probably going to have new seals and things in them. So I think what I will do is clean these up, and that should do us. Well, good news. I got a friend of mine who's a mechanic to have a quick look at these, and he had a look at the resistance on them and the general condition, and his opinion is that as these have obviously been rebuilt at some stage, then the little rubber seals and stuff inside these two valves at the bottom are going to be fine. They'll have been done, and the oil, even though it's not 5 minutes old, it has been replaced since the car was new, and they're not leaking. He said he wouldn't touch them. He said basically do what I'd done to them, which is clean them up and have a look at the service and everything else, and that's all fine. He said just paint them and put them back on the car. So guess what? I'm not looking for jobs. I'm going to paint them and put them back on the car. Well, I'm going to paint them anyway. Onwards. That'll do us for this one. They're covered in paint, I'm covered in muck. That's it. See you on the next one. Onwards.